Crime Fighters, the #1 security program on television.
Last week, there was a potpourri of activities at the Force Headquarters, Abuja, where the second monthly conference of the Inspector General of Police, Ogbonna Onovo, with commissioners of police and above, was held. The evaluation of police performance in the last 3 weeks took the front burner, particularly the recently concluded Anambra State governorship election and the challenges of meeting the required leadership in contemporary policing, which formed the basis for deliberations at the conference.
Evaluate our various performances in the last 3 weeks to get the feedback from you on issues discussed during our last meeting, especially the events of the elections in Anambra State, and then to look at our leadership roles in meeting the challenges of our contemporary policing as it is today. Gentlemen, much has taken place since after the last conference. I'm delighted to inform you that information at my disposal reveals tremendous progress by way of proactive measures adopted in our approach to policing nationwide. I'm particularly impressed with our performance at the Anambra gubernatorial elections of 6th February 2010. The state election served as a litmus test for our preparedness to guarantee the conduct of free and fair elections in this country. The professionalism of police personnel in the state elections attracted commendation from within and outside the country, thus inspiring confidence and trust amongst the entire citizenry in the operational capability of the force. Confident that we shall not rest on our oars, it is my pleasure to convey my heartfelt appreciation to our indefatigable DIGB department, the AIG Zone 9, the Commissioner of Police Anambra, the Commissioners of Police from headquarters who went and supported them, and all the officers and men deployed from far and near for the purpose of that election. I say a big thank you for making the Nigeria Police Force proud. The strategic deployment, coordination, and control leading to the positive outcome of the polls must be emulated and upheld for future reenactment. This indeed marks the dawn of a new era.
The police boss also took a stern look at the criminal investigation procedures of the police, which he said needed to be overhauled.
Gentlemen, I will also say that there is a need to show up the quality of police investigation and detection of crime, as the present scenario leaves much to be desired. In fact, it has been said in many places that our inability to investigate, to detect crimes has kind of reduced the trust the populace have in the police. Many cases are reported and are not only properly they are not properly investigated, but the authors of such crimes are not detected. The ones that we succeed in resolving, we don't give it much publicity so that the public will know what we have done. I'm aware that the public, most of them don't know that we have resolved the case of the Rimi case, that of Dikibo, and some few others. The lecturer who was killed in Anambra State, the lecturer and the daughter that were killed in Anambra State, and many other murder cases in the country. Because probably they don't have big names, the victims don't have big names, people don't know much about them. So our public relations department, you have to do something. You have to put in more efforts to make sure that we inform the public on at least what we are doing or what we have done in such cases. I recall that the Rimi case is in court in Kano. That of Dikibo have been in court in Delta, and most of these cases are in court somewhere. When we complete our investigations and forward this matter to court, it is now not our own job to convict or discharge these people. Ours is to investigate and forward such cases. But then the public ought to know what we're doing. But I'm using this opportunity to remind you that much needs to be done. It is not merely a question of visiting the crime scene, opening a case file, granting bail to suspect, and then you forget about the matter. We must make proper efforts to ensure that our detective abilities come to the fore. It should be borne in mind that the output from police investigation serves as the input to the criminal justice system, hence the need for the change. This will involve a thorough overhauling of the investigative section to ensure that the right quality of personnel are retained. On the other hand, the quality of police prosecutors is basically germane, as many important cases have been lost owing to the lack of experience on the part of prosecutors. Policemen with legal background will be utilized in this regard.
Attention was equally drawn to a false alarm on the state of internal security in the country, as was reported in the leadership newspaper captioned, "Robbers Take Charge." The newspaper had reported that in an armed robbery incident which occurred along Ijebu-Ode-Shagamu Expressway, a gang of suspected armed bandits forcefully stopped a luxurious bus in the gondola, ordered the passengers out of the bus and made them lay on the expressway, and then ordered the luxurious driver to run over the passengers, crushing 19 of the passengers to death. The newspaper report spread like wildfire. The gory picture painted by the paper was condemned by many Nigerians. The Senate also condemned this despicable act and set up a committee to probe the robbery attack. The report also brought about outrageous outcry against the Nigerian police force. The leadership newspaper reported that the incident occurred on the 23rd of February 2010, but in truth, there was a robbery attack which took place on the 31st of July 2009, and the scenario painted by the newspaper was totally at variance with the fact of the case. One then would wonder, why would the national newspaper be insensitive to the reaction the story would generate? Why did the editor of the newspaper fail to contact the police for clarity in a story of that magnitude? Reacting to the embarrassment the newspaper report had caused the police, the Inspector General of Police, Ogbonna Onovo, challenged the leadership newspaper management to prove the authenticity as to when the incident happened and how it happened.
Has been drawn to the motion tabled on the floor of the Senate by distinguished Senator Ayo Obeze on Wednesday, March 2nd, March 3rd, 2010, stating that passengers on a luxury bus were crushed to death on Tuesday, February 23rd, 2010, along the Lagos-Benin highway by the bus driver on the instruction of armed robbers who had waylaid the travelers and stolen their possessions. This motion, which was accompanied by a picture of crushed bodies, understandably provoked high emotions in the Senate and all other places. I would like to respectfully point out that the tragic incident occurred on July 31st, 2009 and not Tuesday, 23rd, 2010. I will challenge the publications, those who published it, to go and show us where it occurred on 23rd of February 2010. I would also like to state with all due respect that the luxury bus driver did not crush any of his passengers, nor was he ordered to do so by the armed robbers who struck. He was never ordered to do so, neither by armed robbers or by anybody else. The bus belongs to the Youngshall Group of companies, and it was the second bus in the fleet that departed Enugu for Lagos on that fateful day, with 41 passengers on board. Along the way, it developed mechanical problems, and they had to stop to fix it. That was why they now proceeded to Lagos under during the late hours of the evening. And by 9:30 p.m., they arrived at the junction between that is Babcock Junction and Federal Government College, Udugu, along the Shagamu Ijebode Expressway in Ogun State. Some of you know that area. It was at that point that the armed robbers blocked the vehicle and ordered passengers out. Ordered them to lie down on the road. And as they were about to dispossess them of their possessions, this truck came on full speed and could not stop. It crushed everybody that was lying down. The name of the driver of that truck is Mr. Osayande Idahosa, President of Benin. "19 persons died in all, 6 females and 13 males. When police got the information, they swiftly went to the scene, and by then the robbers had sneaked into the bush, back into the bush, under the cover of darkness. The police was concerned at that point in time with taking the injured and the deceased to Shagamu General Hospital. The driver of the bus was also picked by the police, and they went back to the police station where they all made statements. A case file was opened, a case file for a road traffic accident, and another case file for robbery. 2 case files together. The relatives of the victims were later contacted by the police, and they came to claim the bodies of their relations. The case was investigated, and the driver was charged to court but was granted bail, and the case file duplicated and forwarded to DPP for advice. At the same time, police made spirited efforts to go after the armed robbers who blocked the road that night. I have called the Ogun State Command to give me further information on whether any of those robbers who committed that heinous act was arrested or not. Gentlemen, The entire leadership of Nigeria Police Force deeply regret this waste of human life. Have enabled our officers to arrest so many dangerous highway robbers. Since this incident occurred in July 31st, there have not been any other serious incident on that highway because of our patrol teams and the checkpoints that you see on that very road. Then it is important for me to clarify this because it will look as if the police condoned such action or that it was caused by the police. This is not so. In spite of our various challenges in this country, the police have in recent times succeeded in reducing armed robbery, not only just in Ogun State, but all over the country. In fact, bank robberies, which were very rampant before, had now been reduced to its barest minimum. And I make haste to say that with the necessary support from all tiers of government, the organized private sector, as well as cooperation from individuals, information from members of the public, the Nigerian police will continue to perform better. The Nigerian police force will continue to improve its performances to give you the required protection.
Crime fighters had a chat with the two drivers involved in the robbery attack, Mr. Oke Francis Okafor, driver of the luxury bus with number XF285 AKD, and Mr. Osaende Idahosa, driver of the truck XN808 BEN, who unknowingly ran over the passengers who were victims of the armed robbery attack. Narrating the ordeal, Mr. Okafor said that the sporadic gunshots by the robbers brought his boss to a halt. On his part,
okay. Well, my name is Oke Francis Okafor, and I work with Youngsha Grow Motors Nigeria Limited. I loaded from Enugu, and on my way coming, then getting to Jabode area. So when we get to that place, we met on a roadblock. We met on a roadblock. So Amroba roadblock. So before we noticed that is an Amroba roadblock, matching a break, then we started hearing a gunshot all over. So there's nothing we can do. I tried to escape with the vehicle, but unfortunately they shoot the air tank. Then the air tank stopped the vehicle. Then I matched a brake. I draw the handbrake and quickly open my back and front door. So as I opened, for me to jump down, one of them have come closer to me. Then he stopped me. He said that if you are moving, he will fire me. I should run inside. So as soon as I run inside the vehicle, one of my spirits asked me to rush down again. So I rushed down. So as I just rushed down, I push him. When I push him, he fall. Then I run into the bush. So when I run into the bush, I bent down and started crawling inside the bush. Till there is a place I reach. I come out of the road. So when I come out of the road, then we started stopping a coming vehicle, so that they will not go to the victim again. Because I was putting on a white, and I pull off that white, use it to be stopping a vehicle. So until we get to the distance, next morning, go to the police station. I have about 22 passengers from Enugu. Before I met our vehicle that broke down on the way, then I convert the passengers also. It was around 8 o'clock night. Well, nothing happened to them by then, because I was Soon as I just run out, I run into the bush. So then inside the bush, I walk inside the bush, I crawl inside the bush till almost a half a pole self before I could be able to come out of the road, begin stop vehicle if I can see a help. When I went to the police station the early morning, then after telling the police, then they bring out their van, then take me to that place. When we reach that place, we see what's happened. What happened? Like they will say some passengers that motor clamped, and the vehicle that clamped them fall down by the side of my motor there, in front of my motor. You see, it is then they started calling calling other officers and other communications.
On his part, Mr. Idahosa recounted his ordeal in the hands of the hoodlums.
Hausa. That was on the 31st of August. So last year. Now as I drive they come, it's about around 2:10 in the night. So as I drive they come, I can't see parking light for front. Now say this parking light make I nearer so that me we can go for road, so that I know we can't get fear. So as I dey nearer, I don't get close to the parking light. The next thing I gone, I just see, hey, stop there! Bim, bim, bim. Different sound of a gun. Now I say, oh my God, I don't enter. Oh my God, I don't enter. Aye. So as I just slow down, so that make I revise, I feel jump out once I don't revise. I see my back. Now the one way they throw away from my back, he plenty pass the one way even dey my front. Hey! Now I say, well, if I wait here now drivers, now those people they keep for all those robbers. Now you put my motor, just change my jar. When I raise up my head, I can't see wait till they take wedge for road. The thing no high. It long from here, reach front like this, but you know I say yes, I will feel climb all these things. But if I want to go for front, if I no injury, I feel jump out. I get that mad like that. As I climb there, I know nothing a human being. So my motor wave, my motor go fall. As if fall now I run, come down there, push me enter bush. They say they go break me, come out, may they kill me. So as I inside that bush, they go back again, go where my motor dey, go scatter my clothes, scatter inside the motor, whether they will see money. So the inside bush when me go, I mean no say na there, maybe they are road where if they rob something, where they call the keeper. So even sleep, even take me for that bush as I just dey sleep. My snuff come make them know say person dey inside there. They say this man is here, this man say you don't finish. Then they crack on, pra. Hell, now say God, me myself, I been want even die by myself. I don't feel breathe again. I even peace for body that very day. I don't feel breathe again. Come they shake. I don't even let paper bed. I nearly die. Now let God know as that period be for me. They dey with me till daybreak. So when someone come and they'll go they shoot for road. Go. The next thing now, when I just hear they just shoot again. Motor just the controller. Boo! The next thing where they hear everybody, the rest people never die with the loss. They just they shout, hey! Now so the trailer just match them again. The trailer face Lagos. Another one again see they come the same man deserve. Now they say still be. He still match them again. He come pieces them, scatter them for ground. So where they break, they still all of them can't join together. They with me for inside bush. Where they break now, I still there because where they the place he dark. The next thing we can't hear siren. Wow, different type of motor siren. Now they say, the police don't come, maybe they are after them. So as they come work for inside that bush, I don't come no. When I wait I don't come hear noise again because they will talk small they hear. I don't come hear noise again. Now say all those people don't come. Now come so get up. I look, I don't see anybody. Now from there. Now come out. When I come road now, my motor still they walk. Now I go off my motor, carry key. Now one of our driver because that place come full. Now they tell me say, make I come out. They look for some people. They look for me. Say now my motor. Now match those people. Now say okay. I just enter that one motor. That one carry me go Obalende police station. So as I reach station, I make a report. They say DPO boys, all of them don't park. Then they go where the something for happen. Now see me statement. Now I go me there. When I reach here now, CP from Ogun, commissioner, that place full. mopo everywhere full. So now the man come say, not be my fault, because na robber na he use the block road, and me no know say na human being. So now from there, now I say, okay, make the raise the motor, park the dead body, go mortuary, so that make them leave us, make them let us go. So while the robbers, as far as they don't cause this thing, they supposed to investigate me, they catch the robber. Now so now police come carry me go station, they come raise the motor. I spent 4 days for sale. After 4 days, they can't leave me. I can't go out there. They steal my motor. Then after a week, I go meet them again before they can't give me my motor. After they say VO don't inspect my motor. Now so I take carry my motor. Now I come out. My motor now I never see the piano. It's still they workshop. I don't get work now as I sit down. As I sit down, they talk now, no job. Now I take come now. So yesterday, they call me, they say they want to see me. Now, what did they happen? Say, but the case again. I say, I not be armed robber now. I not be say I propose match all those people or kill them. What did they happen now? So now I say, I know they wrong. Now I go back to Jebu. They can't carry me come here. Now I can't take the Abuja now. As this matter be now, waiting me see to talk, we say, it don't already happen. Not be weak cause. I made the people we get people we die. Made them no vessel, because now waiting happen. Not be say person just propose this one. Made they pray for the robbers. May hand they meet them. That is the prayer, the waiting I get, man.
It is expected of Nigerians to continue to show support and understanding to the Nigerian police. More so now that the police is focusing on community policing and intelligence-led policing and acquiring high-tech equipment to fight crime and criminality. The security of the nation is a collective responsibility. The police is counting on the support of all and sundry to make that indelible mark in this regard.
The #1 security program on television. Crime fighters, the police and you. The men are still in action.